I'm still confused about it, that Don't Ask, Don't Tell has been repealed and everything, and who knows, they need these 60 days, now they need this other stuff, and we're like, you know what, we need to talk to somebody who's actually been through this. Our next guest has a very interesting story. He's actually a former sergeant in the Army from 2002 to 2008. He was deployed in Iraq, I believe, twice, and he was also in Kuwait. He was discharged in 2008. You might have seen him, though, because he was actually got, I believe it was interviewed on a CBS special about this particular topic, and also CNN had done a segment on him. Very interesting story. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Darren Manzella.
Excellent.
Come, Darren. And he's cute, too. Yeah.
Sit here in the middle.
Come sit next to us right here. Yep. Whichever you. Come on in.
Thank you. This drink is mine, yes?
Is that? Yeah. Cheers.
Sure,
I
you
know.
have
I'm just kidding.
Whatever you
We
want.
actually, we love vodka up here. So, Darren, you actually have a very interesting story. You were in the Army, and for a time you served, and nobody knew you were gay, right? So, tell us a little bit about what happened.
Well, as you mentioned, I was deployed twice. I entered in 2002. I was young. I was just out of college, and as many people do, you kind of battle with, am I gay or am I not? And I don't know if joining the military was maybe one last step of, no, I'm not, because you're not gay in the Army, and that's not the fact there. So I was in the military. I was very dedicated to my job and the military and the country, and I went to Iraq the first time. It was very different, of course. I never experienced anything like it. And I was in Iraq for 4 days, and a very good friend of mine was killed. So that kind of changed everything. In a new country, then all of a sudden people are dying around you. And that kind of was the first step of me coming to the realization to myself that I was gay, admitting it to myself, which I think is the biggest hurdle people go through.
Right.
So I served 12 months in Iraq. I was in Baghdad, in the streets of Baghdad, 12-hour patrols. I worked on people. I was in the medical corps. I did medical coverage. I treated people that were my colleagues, U.S. Army. I treated Iraqi Army. I treated Iraqi civilians. I treated Iraqi bad guys, the insurgents, because that was my job. And I came back after 12 months, and we were bombed every day on our base, and it's just very hostile environment, and it really made me look at my life differently. And I looked back to my friend Forrest, who was killed, and I thought, he didn't come back, and what if that was me? And I was living this, I don't know if I consider it a lie, but it was kind of a secret. I didn't want anyone to know. And what if that was me, that my family never knew this part that I struggled with in my life, or my best friends? So when I returned, I finally, admitted it to myself. And ironically, the very first people I came out to were the people I was in Iraq with. My roommate in Iraq was my roommate in Texas. My other very close friends that were in Iraq with me. And they were my family. I trusted them, and I knew, I'll say this, Don't Ask, Don't Tell was still a little bit of a mystery to me. I knew it was in place. I didn't know exactly what it meant. And at this point, I thought I was the only gay man in the Army. I was the only one.
Later found out.
Oh.
You came to that realization yourself at that time,
Yes.
right? So, and you started telling your patrol
Peers.
buddies,
Uh-huh.
about
What
the
were
story.
what was their reaction? Were they
I was telling,
different towards you, or were
No,
they
not at all.
not
That's-
totally accepting? Right?
I was very, very nervous and scared to tell. My roommate, especially, he became my best friend. We were in Iraq together. We were in the same room. We went on patrols together. We came under fire. We were the first ones. We checked on to make sure we were okay. Then we had to go, help the people that weren't. And I remember sitting down. I was shaking, and he's like, "What's wrong? Just tell me." Pleading with me, "Just tell me what's the matter." I said, "If you don't want to live with me anymore, I'll understand." And he said, "Did you sleep with my wife?" That kind of, it broke the ice a little bit. I said, "Oh, no."
He was probably very relieved
Oh,
with
yeah.
your news.
Right.
So, but that made it a little bit easier. I said, "I'm gay," and his comment is, "I don't give a shit." He's like, "I love you. You're like my brother." He's like, "Why would I care?" I said, "I don't know."
Yeah.
I mean, they made such a big deal, you know, Senator McCain with all of the survey and everything, and they made such a big deal about this survey, and nobody really knows, but I'm assuming that they saw the survey before it went out.
Yeah.
And it overwhelmingly came back that people really don't care.
True.
So is that basically what you found out there?
I believe that. I believed that for a long time. Going on from, I told my roommate, my former roommate, then I told other friends of mine, then I came out to my family, and it just kind of, it built, and I felt all this paranoia lifting off of me. And I'll get to your question in a second. Just kind of just gives a little backstory to it. But I just had support from my family, from my friends in the military, and my civilian friends. And it made it a lot easier for me to do my job. I wasn't so, you know, questioning myself anymore, you know. And I mean, friends are curious. They ask me crazy questions, but it was funny. I mean, some were stupid as hell, but I'm like, you know, at least you can ask me.
Listen,
you know, at least they know.
Yeah,
exactly.
And they, you know, and they knew they could ask me. So at that point, though, I still had a very separate life from my military life, even though some of my friends were military. You're always military 24/7, but there's you can be yourself with military friends. But when I was at work, and I did very well, and I was promoted a number of times, and I just thought I did the best I could. So if I wanted to be gay and, you know, admit to myself to be gay, it's not a choice. I thought no one can tell me that I'm not a good soldier because I'm gay, and that's just my stubborn mindset.
Mm-hmm.
So later on, I started getting harassment, you know, a few months later. I was dating somebody, and I started getting these emails, phone calls at work, emails at work on my military account from these people I didn't even know.
From other people in military, you mean?
Some military. I was in Austin. I was at Fort Hood, Texas. I was down in Austin, about an hour south. A civilian came up to me and told me I was under investigation in the military.
Wow.
I didn't even know how to handle that. All that paranoia had been shedding, just came crashing back down on me, and it started to take a toll. At this point, I've been promoted to work for the division headquarters. I worked for a general, and that's a very high-profile position. And to try and deal with this, you know, and my supervisor saw something was going on, and finally one day he just asked me, and I just told him everything: emails, phone calls, you know, my little bit about, you know, I'm a good soldier. I don't know why this would make a difference, and he was very supportive. Surprised me.
So I have a question. There is actually a report out there that said that you showed him a videotape of you. Is that true? Of you and your current boyfriend at the time? That's
later on, and it's not what you're thinking, videotape. I mean, it was, but
yeah,
it's not what you guys are thinking. So
it's only what you're hoping.
Not what you're thinking. And it came out. So I told my supervisor. He said, "Go home. Try not to worry about it. I'll see you tomorrow morning for PT, which is our exercise. You know, 6:30 in the morning." I went back the next day. I felt better. You know, it was finally out there. And my point of view was, you know, if someone's going to try to end my career, I'm going to be proactive and, you know, put the truth out there.
Right.
Don't let these rumors start. Let me be very straightforward and let you know. You know, don't let lies become reality to my commanders of all people. So my supervisor went and reported me to the legal department. The next day I was called in by my commander. He told me they were starting an investigation. And I was very honest with him. I said, yes, I said this. This is why. These are my beliefs. You preach. I mean, I don't know where these bullet points came from. You preach honesty and integrity, but then you want me to sit here and lie about who I am and try to be somebody else. So.
That's what kills me, right? Because, I mean, when you look at any branch of the military, it's really about integrity and, you know, standing for something, but then at the same time, they don't want you to.
True. And I think the key part of the military, well, there's two key parts. Professionalism, because every person who puts on a uniform, I think, is a professional. They're there to get the mission done, and that's what they're there for.
Right.
That's their job. The other part is the camaraderie, like the binds that you form and the what's the word I'm looking for?
Bonding.
The bonds.
Bonds.
Yeah. Wrong vowel, my bad.
Yeah. It's like you know, it's your second family, really.
True, and that's, I mean, it really was.
So did the supervisor report it to legal because he had to?
Because he had to.
He had to.
And to this day, people think, well, do you hate him? I said, no. I mean, this is not his fault. The fault lies in don't ask, don't tell. The law that says he needs to report me. Now he reported me. He did his duty. My commander opened an investigation. I was very honest. They had me this. I mean, I don't know how many pages and just questions, and I filled them very honestly. Yes, I told my commander this, or my supervisor this. This is why. This, you know, comma. This is why I think, comma. These are the facts that support my opinion.
Yeah.
It was a very long, very long document.
I'm sure.
So then, and Yeah, and I said, that's where the video came from. And all it was, because it came back to me that they thought I was lying about it. I'm like, why would I do this to myself?
Why would you lie about
Okay.
something?
Why? So that's what this is about. If you want to have proof, I mean, I don't know how else to. Usually my word was enough, but and it wasn't. It was
Whoa, wait,
nothing.
I'm confused.
It was nothing pornographic. I don't.
They thought you were
make sure-
lying about being gay?
I
Yeah.
guess so. So.
They just wanted to see it.
Well, it gets better.
But
it
wait,
gets better.
it gets better.
Q talks for you.
Let us talk.